Hello everyone, and welcome back to Online Sunday School. As you might be able to tell, I'm actually outside today, and it feels great. I have spent so much time on a computer screen lately, and so much time inside, and maybe some of you have too. So if you can get outside, do so. If you can't, for today's Sunday School, you will need a little bit of space. Not a lot, but just a little, because we are going to do a little bit of moving while we have our lesson time. To start with though, we always light a candle. And we light a candle because candles help us think about Jesus, and they help us remember that even in hard times and dark times, that Jesus is always with us. Now, because I'm outside and because I'm going to be moving around, I grabbed a battery-operated candle because it doesn't matter what kind of candle it is. So I'm turning on my candle, you can see it, and then I'm going to put it right up here, close to the top of my yoga mat. Now we're going to start with a story. The story is called Adam and Eve, and it's taken from the book of Genesis, which is the first book of the Bible, chapter 2. God breathed the breath of life into the first person and called him Adam. He put Adam in a beautiful garden called Eden, where there was every kind of delicious fruit to eat. Adam could play all day long and eat whenever he was hungry. But Adam was lonely. God said, "My child, it is not good to be alone." So God brought all the birds and animals to keep him company. But Adam said, "I need a proper friend." "Yes, you are quite right," God said, and put Adam into a deep sleep. When Adam awoke, God had made him a woman. "Wow," Adam said, his jaw dropping in amazement. He had never seen anything so beautiful and so wonderful. Her name was Eve, and she would be the mother of all people. Adam and Eve laughed together and loved each other and were happy in the Garden of Eden. God smiled when he saw their joy. He told them to have children so that love and happiness could spread over the whole earth. Dear God, thank you for giving us each other to love. Amen. So now is the time that we get to move a little bit. If you remember in our story, it said that God breathed life into Adam. And that means that your breath is both life-giving and it is also holy. So if you could sit like me and have your back be really tall and your neck really tall and your toes out in front of you and give them a little wiggle, and we are going to practice breathing together, really deep, holy breaths. Are you ready? So we're going to breathe in and reach our hands all the way to the sky. Oh, feel how tall you are. And now I want you to bend over and reach towards your toes and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Oh, feel how good that is. Now look up and wave at me. Wave, hi friends, hi. And now lower back down. Take a deep breath right there. Wiggle your toes again. And now come all the way back up like we did before, where we're really tall. And we wiggle our fingers. And then we're going to bring our hands right to our heart. How did we do? Let's try it one more time, okay? So we're going to put our hands way up high and wiggle our fingers. And now we're going to exhale and we're going to reach all the way down towards our toes and wiggle our toes. And now we're going to look up. And can you wave at me like I'm waving at you? Yay! And now put our head right back down and wiggle those toes again. And now come back around and reach up really high again. And now bring your hands back to heart center. And now can you do that without me coaching and just breathing and watching what I do? This is going to be our last time doing it this way, okay? So we're going to go up and breathe out. Breathe in and look up and breathe out and breathe in. And then breathe out. So that's you practicing very, very holy breath because God is in your breath. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it standing up. So right where you are, just put your feet on the ground. A turn to sit and practice our holy breathing. I would like everybody to stand up with me. And let's practice our holy breathing standing up, okay? So we're gonna stand up tall, and this is called mountain pose. And feel your whole back make you really tall, and pretend like there's a string pulling right at the top of your head and pulling you to your tallest point. Okay, now just like we did before, we're gonna reach our hands all the way up as high as we can reach them. And then we're gonna swing all the way down to our toes and wiggle our toes. And now we're gonna look up and we're gonna wave again. And then we're gonna look down and wiggle our toes one more time. And then come all the way up really tall. And then bring our hands to heart center like we're praying. Should we do that one more time? Great, let's do it one more time. Okay, so reach all the way up as tall as you can. And then reach all the way down and wiggle your fingers and your toes. And look up a little bit and wave. And now we're gonna look down and wiggle our toes and our fingers again. And reach all the way up. And bring our hands back to our heart. Do you feel warmed up? I feel warmed up. So now we're gonna do what's called a full sun salutation. So we're gonna do all those moves that we just did, but we're also gonna do some things with our feet. Are you ready? Here we go. I'm gonna take a step forward so I have room on my mat. And we're gonna do that big stretch up again. So we're gonna go all the way up and come all the way down. And we're gonna look up like we did before. But this time we're gonna put our hands down on the mat and we're gonna step back with one foot. And this is called a low lunge. So we're sitting on one knee and this knee forward is up. And then we're gonna put our hands back on the mat and we're gonna put ourselves in a push-up position. So this requires you to feel very strong. And then we're gonna take a break from our push-up position. So we're gonna come all the way down to the ground and then we're gonna do a half a push-up, and this is called a cobra. So we reach our chest up and this feels so good and stretchy. And now we're gonna do what's called a downward dog. So we're gonna dig our toes in and push our body up. How does that feel? Now, pull your other foot forward and do that same low lunge. And now you're gonna reach up really big, just like we've done before. And then put our hands on the mat and bring our other foot forward. And now get really tall again, all the way up to the sky. Reach, 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 reach. And then bring our hands back to heart center, like we're praying. Did you do it? How did it feel? Give me 2 thumbs up. Did it feel great? Okay, let's do it one more time. Are you ready? We'll start with our hands at heart center. And now we're gonna shoot our hands really big up and fold our bodies down. And then we're gonna look at our friends, maybe do a little wave. Put our hands on the mat or the floor and step back with one foot and get ourselves to that lunge. And then reach up with our hands and be really big again. And now let's take our hands down to the floor. And we're gonna find ourselves in a push-up position. And there's our push-up position. And then we're gonna lower our bodies down so our heart is on the ground. And then push our body back up. Oh, that feels so good. And now find your toes and get those tucked under so we can get to downward dog. Here's our downward dog. Stretch, stretch. And then bring that other foot forward and put our knee down. And we are back to that lunge. And now we reach up really tall. And we put our hands back on the mat and bring our other foot in. And reach, reach, reach to the ceiling or the sky. And then we take our hands back to heart center. Very nice work. Now, there's a poem that I would like to put with all of our movement. And this will help us remember that God is with us and Jesus is with us, and our bodies are such a great gift to be able to do this together. So now let's put our yoga poses with some words that will feel a little bit like a prayer. The sun, I salute the sun. The Son of God lives in everyone. Christ has risen. Christ has blessed. The whole world in his heart rests. With Christ I rise, ready to live, happy to be, and ready to give. The sun, I salute the sun. Christ opens his arms to everyone. So for our story time today, I would like us to read the story called What Do You Do with a Problem? And this book is written by Kobe Yamada and illustrated by May Bisa. I don't know how it happened, but one day I had a problem. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I really didn't like having a problem, but it was there. Why is it here? What does it want? What do you do with a problem? I thought. I wanted to make it go away. I shooed it. I scowled at it. I tried ignoring it, but nothing worked. I started to worry about my problem. What if it swallows me up? What if my problem sneaks up and gets me? What if it takes away all of my things? I worried a lot. I worried about what would happen. I worried about what could happen. I worried about this and I worried about that. And the more I worried, the bigger my problem became. I wished it would just disappear. I tried everything I could to hide from it. I even found ways to disguise myself. But it still found me. And the more I avoided my problem, the more I saw it everywhere. I thought about it all the time. I didn't feel good at all. I couldn't take it anymore. This has to stop, I declared. Maybe I was making my problem bigger and scarier than it actually was. After all, my problem hadn't really swallowed me up or attacked me. I realized I had to face it. So even though I didn't want to, even though I was really afraid, I got ready and I tackled my problem. When I got face to face with it, I discovered something. My problem wasn't what I thought it was. I discovered it had something beautiful inside. My problem held an opportunity. It was an opportunity for me to learn and to grow, to be brave, to do something. It showed me that it was important to look closely because some opportunities only come once. So now I see problems differently. I'm not afraid of them anymore because I know their secret. Every problem has an opportunity for something good. You just have to look for it. I like what it says at the very back of this book. It says, what are problems for? They challenge us, shape us, push us, and help us to discover just how strong and brave and capable we really are. Even though we don't always want them, problems have a way of changing us in unexpected ways. So what will you do with your problem? Now that's up to you. The reason I chose that book to end our Sunday school with today is because there's a lot going on in our world, and it might feel like some really big problems. And they are really big problems, but they are also opportunities for us to learn things and to grow together and to try new things together. So I thank you for trying new things with me every week at Online Sunday School. And I encourage us to remember that God is with us and God is in it with us. Let's please pray. Holy God, we know that we are all in this together. And although we miss being together physically, we do get to be together virtually. And we thank you that we can see our friends on video and online, and that we can still be a Sunday school community. In your name we pray. Amen.